He's part of the American Revolutionary War soldiers. He's part of the people that fought in 1812. And any other campaign that we've done over the last 250 years, you're a part of that now. You've always been a part of it. And you've honored that uniform. You've also honored your family. Shorty would be proud. Shorty is proud. Shorty's his dad. Shorty served 23 years in the United States Marine Corps. And like everybody should do, you should always do a little bit better than the generation before you. His father served 23 years in the United States Marine Corps. Thomas has done 30. And you did that day in and day out. And you honored your mother. You honored your wife. And you honored your son. And you honored me. And when we sat in the dark days of the early part of this command tour, you were there beside us. You honored that command Master Chief Din. You did everything on behalf of this sailor and this mission, and this command. Country. You don't serve 30 years, you don't do 30 years for a greater cause just because, just for the paycheck. You do it for the country, and you did that. You're going to go away from this. You're always going to have those Master Chief anchors, those 2 stars. But beyond that, you're going to have the love of country deep inside your heart, and you will have taught it to many people. And you're the role model. And when you go back to Texas, you're going to be a role model there as well. Country's not just about the country for Thomas Wellman. It's also about the fact that he's a country western guy. And if you see that big truck that he's driving, it's going to be an even bigger truck in Texas. Because everything's bigger in Texas. Is that right? Yeah. So he's a Master Chief Wellman. He's a country man. And he's going to have his big ranch out there, and he's going to have his 100 head of steers. Is that right? He hasn't told you about that yet? No. Wait until he tells you about that plan. The Longhorns, I think, are what they are. But he's going to go back to Texas, and he's still going to be a part of the Navy, and he's still going to be a part of this country. And the work that you've done on behalf of these sailors here today and over 30 years is something that we will not forget. You will always be that example to us. There hasn't been a day in command since I met you that I haven't thought about what would Thomas Wellman do. And how would he think about that? You always had that level head. No matter what the issue was, you always had the level head. You always had a few good thoughts. You were always beside us. On behalf of Commander Banny and myself, I got to tell you, there's no one I'd rather want in a foxhole than you. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, shouldn't I? So we're going to say goodbye to you today, but not for too long. I'm going to come visit. He's already told me I can come visit. So on behalf of Nyack, Hawaii, on behalf of the thousands of sailors who you've touched throughout the last 30 years, congratulations, job well done, and fair winds and follows to the shipmate.
The captain failed to mention was when you were talking about MacArthur, sir, that was he was his SEL. And I don't want to get into how a bull becomes a steer, but we won't do that. So thank you, Captain, for those kind and insightful words. Captain Kershaw will now present Master Chief Wellman with his End of Tour Award, Presidential and Retirement Certificate. Not yet. Military personnel, attention to award. Guests, please rise. United States of America, to all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that the Secretary of Defense has authorized the award of the Defense Meritorious Service Medal to Master Chief Petty Officer Thomas R. Wellman, United States Navy, for services set forth in the following citation. Master Chief Cryptologic Technician Technical Thomas R. Wellman, United States Navy, distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious service while serving as a senior enlisted leader within the Signals Intelligence Directorate of the National Security Agency Central Security Service, Hawaii, from December 2009 to January 2014. During this period, Master Chief Wellman demonstrated superior leadership and operational expertise while leading over 1,500 multi-service and civilian personnel in a dynamic signals intelligence operations environment in support of the global war on terrorism, Asia-Pacific regional, and global security objectives. Under his leadership, situational awareness was improved, and the Analysis and Production Department delivered the most timely and actionable intelligence available, which ultimately resulted in the successful capture, kill, or arrest of known terrorists and provided insight into advanced capabilities and tactics of adversaries with the Asia-Pacific theater. Master Chief Wellman's superb knowledge of all aspects of operations and extensive cryptologic experience allowed him to focus the right people with the right skills, thereby optimizing the use of austerely man-critical skills, enabling the Directorate to provide tactical commanders and national decision makers with timely intelligence support. As a data acquisition senior enlisted leader, he ensured operational and administrative requirements were met through the leadership of over 200 personnel that directly supported priority intelligence requirements in the Asia-Pacific area of responsibility. The distinctive accomplishments of Master Chief Wellman culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself, the National Security Agency Central Security Service, the United States Navy, and the Department of Defense. Captain Kershaw will now present Master Chief Petty Officer Wellman with his Presidential Certificate. The Presidential Certificate of Appreciation reads as follows. For service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Master Chief Petty Officer Thomas R. Wellman, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of the grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been inspiring for those who will follow in your footsteps and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job extremely well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Commander-in-Chief Barack Obama. Captain Kershaw will now present Master Chief Petty Officer Wellman with his retirement certificate. Yes, you may be seated. The retirement certificate reads as follows. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents greeting, this is to certify that Master Chief Petty Officer Thomas R. Wellman, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Navy on the first day of May 2014. Signed, William F. Moran, Vice Admiral, Chief of Naval Personnel. Master Chief Wellman has also received certificates of appreciation from the former President Jimmy Carter, the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Navy Mike Stevens, and the governors of the states of Florida, Hawaii, Rhode Island, and Virginia. Will the ushers please escort the family to the stage? This certificate reads as follows. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Navy. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. Today, after completing 30 years of active naval service, your son, husband, and father, respectively, have ended a career of honorable and faithful service to his country, and his efforts are sincerely appreciated. Such a rich and rewarding career reflects a strong commitment to the principles of freedom and democracy and the belief that they must be upheld at any cost. That type of total commitment is not possible without the full support of the entire family. Although you may have never had to carry out a military order or deploy into hostile waters, your loyalty and steadfast support of your son's, husband's, and father's career can rightly be viewed as service to your country. That loyalty and dedication were significant forces of strength for your son, husband, and father during arduous duty and exemplify the highest traditions of patriotism. On behalf of a grateful nation, the Department of the Navy, and the officers and crew of Navy Information Operations Command Hawaii, I extend to you a sincere thanks and express our appreciation for a job well done. Signed, Captain Kershaw, United States Navy. Please join me in giving a round of applause. A fine sword, a brace of pistols, a rifle, a musket, or maybe a sea chest of fine wood bound in brass was presented to remind a retiree of the crews and ships he or she had served with. A retirement shadow box depicts the sailor's career achievements in the United States Navy and includes all duty stations, insignias, and personal awards earned, as well as the uniform devices indicating the ranks the sailor progressed through as he or she worked their way up through the advancement ladder, enabling anyone to look at it to know that sailor's history at a simple glance. Also in the shadow box in the flag of the United States of America. This flag had the distinction of being flown over the USS Arizona on 1 April 2013, which is the Chief Petty Officer's birthday. The USS Chief, named to honor and service and tradition of Chief Petty Officers of the United States Navy, and again over the Arizona on 7 December 2013. Master Chief Petty Officer retired Bill Cronenberg will present Master Chief Wellman his retirement shadow box. So, another thing I wanted to mention is, it's funny how the captain talked about all your previous ships. None of them are around anymore, dude. I had to bring that up. He started saying that, I was like, wow! Came in version 1 of the Blue Jacket. Okay, so Chief Mueller will now present Master Chief Wellman with a gift from the Direct Support Department, Chief Petty Officers. Or he won't.
Or the CPOA code.
Ah, here we go.
I got one too for CPOA.
Okay. Chief Chris Calder, who's been doing a fantastic job videotaping this, has another gift for you from the Hawaii CPOA. That is actually perfect considering he came in as an oarsman. It's perfect how you just button that up. Appreciate it. Sure. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to present to you Master Chief Petty Officer Thomas R. Wellman, United States Navy.
Good morning. To everyone here today, family, friends, and shipmates, thank you for sharing a time-honored tradition by your presence here at my retirement. I'm truly humbled by your presence at this event, and I really appreciate the time you took out to come here because I know everybody's busy this morning. Captain Kershaw, thank you for the kind words. As always, you dig. And I like it. And I appreciate you taking the honor of being the guest speaker. I want to thank all the people who helped put this ceremony together. It takes a enormous amount of time and effort to plan and execute a retirement ceremony. And everyone, if I did everyone here, we'd be here longer than we want to be. But of course, I want to recognize the Chiefs Mess and the retired Chiefs that came also, the future Chiefs that are going to be here someday, the officers, NIOP sailors. I want to recognize USS Missouri Memorial Staff led by Mike Pagano, Pacific Fleet Man. Participants, joint service military and civilian personnel showed up. Bill, thank you for making the trip. Son, for making the trip. Tailgating friends, thank you for making the trip here. And to Bill, again, thanks for the wonderful shadow bombs. I know it was very difficult because you were trying to lead yourself into your retirement ceremony and everything else, so I appreciate the time it took for my shadow box and then put the flag in this one. We couldn't do it. Council Nines, Woody, Steve, Mike. Where's Mike go? There he is. Toby. All the rest of you guys, thank you. All the extra touches you put on this will make this truly memorable for me. Chris Calder, my videographers, thank you guys. I need you to come up here when I need to wrap it up, all right, Chris? Thanks. How do you acknowledge all those people that came before you? The honor of passing a legacy to sailors coming up behind you, and I think I have done that. 30 years. 20 years as a chief. 2/3 of my career. 9 of those have been a master chief. And that's more than half of my time has been spent at sea, forward deployed, overseas, or TAD. Time has really flown by these last few months. It's given me time to reflect over my life as a whole. But it's gone long, just slow enough for me to think about it and look about the people who helped me shape my life. My talk here will be brief as I have imparted much of me to a lot of you over the last year. And over the last 4 years, I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. I really had no intention of joining any military organization, and much less the Navy after growing up in the military for most of my life. I went to a recruiter's office with my best friend Jim because he was going to join the Navy. And I was going to go to college because I was going to have for college to be a dentist. Well, that didn't work out so well. I'm here before you. I was actually supposed to join on the 12th.